Hi everyone, my name is Natalie Skillington, and I have read the Daniels 2020 textbook in its entirety. So the first moral, ethical benchmark that I had a little struggle with was autonomy, and initially I did not think I would, but Daniels described it as a counselor's responsibility to respect clients' choices, and as someone who often does not agree with others, I was worried that I would have to tell them that they are making good decisions and or maybe guide them in the right direction, but basically I would have to affirm that they are making good decisions. But then Daniels goes on to talk about how God gives us autonomy, even though he doesn't agree with us. And a perfect example of that is with Adam and Eve, how he allowed them to eat the fruit. And so after hearing that example, I think I better understood what autonomy was. And so the reason I didn't agree with it in the first place was was because I didn't fully understand what it was. So as a Christian, it is paramount that I love God and love others. However, acting this out in real life, especially as a counselor, is more complicated than it appears at face value. While I initially had no issues with any of the 6 principles of the 2014 ACA Code of Ethics, autonomy, beneficence, veracity, fidelity, non-malfeasance, and justice, diving deeper, I found that I actually do have conflicted feelings about how I will promote a client's beneficence and if we share different core values. So the Practitioner's Guide to Ethical Decision-Making from 2016 describes beneficence as a counselor's active actions to do good, to prevent harm, and to protect the welfare of a client. The 2014 ACA Code of Ethics highlights that it also relates to the betterment of society and the related community that the client belongs to. So, and then in Daniels 2020, the textbook that we have, it outlines the importance of beneficence by describing that it is not waiting for my beliefs and my client's beliefs to align, especially since I will not be imposing my beliefs on them, so they should not be aligning, technically. It is about loving them as a reflection of Christ, which means being willing to lay down my life, being sacrificial, and sacrificing my own biases for their betterment, and understanding that they may never fully comprehend the way that Christ loves them and why, but that I must be there to love them where they are. So my biggest challenge with that as a Christian, I feel it is because as a Christian, I feel the best way to love them as an individual is to introduce them to Christ and be fully open with my faith so that they can see God's love for them through me. But as a counselor, doing this would be against the ACA Code of Ethics. So how will I effectively love my client? Promote their well-being without imposing my beliefs. I found a good tool for this. I believe that would be very, very helpful. It is from Martella and Ryan in 2019. I gained a lot of knowledge. So in their study called Distinguishing Between Basic Psychological Needs and Basic Wellness Enhancers, the case of beneficence as a candidate psychological from Martella and Ryan in 2019. This found that beneficence is not specifically the promotion of well-being and the intentional reduction of ill-being of a client, but that it is more related to autonomy, competence, relatedness, positive affect, and meaningfulness. They found that without improvements in these, in a person's, autonomy, competence, and relatedness, that there were not improvements in their well-being, and even to the fact that if they took these factors out of the measuring, then nothing changed. They also found that when relating to revisiting pain or sadful memories that the clients had more positive emotions and reactions during the recall than expected because they viewed them as meaningful. And during these painful or sad events, they relied on community, and in hindsight, showed them how they actually grew and benefited from it, which improved or increased the amount of meaning that came from it. So, in conclusion, the way that I will avoid imposing my beliefs on another and will, not try to convert someone, but while still promoting their beneficence as a Christian, is that I will love them, but I will highlight their autonomy, competence, relatedness, and positive affect and meaningfulness. So in addition to actively promoting their well-being and preventing harm to them. So while I may still feel that I'm not doing enough to quote-unquote save this person, I will also continually remind myself that it is not my job to save the person, and that while I will love them and I will be upfront with them about what my beliefs are when we are doing the informed consent, I will also be upfront with them about how I will not impose my beliefs on them. So I will promote their autonomy, their competence, their relatedness, their positive affect, and the meaningfulness that they get from life. I will prevent harm to them and I will protect their well-being, but I will do that in a way that best fits their culture and their worldview and keeps mine out of it. Thank you.